Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's actually time for me to actually tackle this topic, to say the least. As this has been a very crazy week, to say the least, evolving video games. Now, I'm obviously not gonna be the perfect person to talk about this, but at least I do want to get my thoughts and opinions on this and also kind of do an explanation. But if you want a better explanation, go look it up yourself. There's tons of videos, but you probably already heard of this sing and dance. Now, for those who do not know, this week in video game has been wild on both the good front and definitely the bad front. And I say good front too because there were some things, at least for me, that were good to say the least. But no matter how much Deltarune Chapter 5 could come out alongside classic Sonic being in Crossroad Racing, yeah, that's not going to cap and save it ho of the Steam machine right now. Oh, God. So, for context, if you guys don't know, which I highly doubt, this week we had at least three insane news that are pretty much the same when you kind of look at what they're similar towards, and that is pricing. Steam Machine price came out, and I'm going to be honest, I do feel bad for people who use Steam and all those who were hoping that this Steam Machine would be super cheap. In fact, I was actually thinking it would be because that would have been a smart move. However, the problem is it turns out opposite. It did something that not even I expected. Like, if it was going to be the worst scenario, I thought it was going to be like at least 800 connected to the PlayStation, although we get to that can of worms in a bit, and not just with PlayStation, but someone else who decided to do that instead. But they just went with the worst option. They went with the nuclear option and made 1,000. And also, just to clarify, I am up to speed on why this is the case. Part of the reason is because of the data centers. I really can't have a 4D on talking about that, other than, yeah, I do agree that data centers is a big problem, especially since it's much more worse than just video gaming. But again, I'm probably not the best person to talk about for reasons that we're not going to be discussing. But let's just agree that I would not mind those fuckers to be destroyed. But the other reason is because of, the greed side of companies, which is kind of funny, which I'll talk about more about that later. But yeah, this feels like that's the thing too. Like, despite the parts making sense, you don't want you have to get these computer parts. This doesn't feel like the whole computer parts situation. This feels like more like greed in some cases because it doesn't make sense. Because as many people pointed out, and unlike most people, I did not actually look this up, but I can back this up. Bro, you can get a laptop keeper like at freaking Walmart for $400, and according to many, you can build a PC more cheaper with that, which is even more strange because literally Valve actually did the whole Microsoft and Nintendo thing again. They said, "Hey, you can get your own PC kind of thing," and they literally encouraged it, which is not a good look because there's a reason why when Microsoft did it, they bombed badly, and when Nintendo did it, they did bomb badly. In fact, I got some interesting things to talk about with that. But yeah, they definitely accidentally did a fart, but realized it wasn't a fart. It was explosive diarrhea. But still, yeah, there's a reason why saying get the older version is pretty much a bad sign, to say the least. But oh boy, we're not done yet, as next up is GTA 6. Just gonna be heads up here, I do not give two flying fucks of GTA 6. As you might guess, also, I don't give two flying fucks of pretty much the entirety except for the main issue, which is affecting not just the main ones we're talking about, it's affecting everything of gaming, so hence why it makes sense for also me to talk about. But real talk, similar to the people who love Steam, I do feel bad for those who are trying to get GTA. Because weirdly enough, Rockstar definitely showed their idiocy again and basically became just like SML, Super Mario Logan, showed in that SML movie with GTA 6, the time traveling. Because not only is it going to be expensive to even get the major content from the games, which isn't really surprising, but definitely is a little bit meh. And to give credit, they did made it $80. However, here's the issue. Yeah, that $80 doesn't come with a disc. It is digital only. And I will be fair with this one. I do kind of buy digital games a little bit with my Switch, or 55% of my Switch, or I don't know. You can say whatever you want, but I do understand, and I think I have talked about this before, but just in case, I do understand why people are upset with this because of game perversion, or keeping games, for history and all that. Plus, also, the whole saying of, hey, I want to own this. This is why the keycard thing was so confusing and, if not, troubling, to say the least. Because why would someone want a game keycard when they just wanted to own this thing? It's very, to say the least. And I'm probably not doing a good job with this, but it is kind of like very bad, to say the least. And again, I do feel bad because I'm not into Grand Theft Auto, believe it or not. I might try it one day, but even then, it's not like on my top priority. But I do feel bad because this is a very big video game that's coming up this year, and a lot of people is upset that all this is happening. However, finally, yesterday, Microsoft decided to show their ass again. Say what you will about Nintendo or even Sony, but holy crap. Microsoft, they already went down the toilet, which actually also shocked me because, like many, I actually thought, because even though, again, I don't give a damn about Microsoft, I even thought that, these people sound like they're trying to fix, their company. No, they're gunshotting it every single way, and it's like, really? First they start doing with crappy layoffs, which I don't know what the hell Microsoft in general is doing, because it's not just the gaming industry, it's literally their entire people over there. Sooner or later, they'll start firing each other's bosses. It's weird. But then they decided, you know what? Oh, this Steam machine here is going to get 1,000? Well, fuck it. Let's go 800 with our machine. And it's what the fuck? I mean, this is why I bring up Nintendo, because even though, yes, Nintendo is a bit guilty too, I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat that. At least they actually, the best way I describe this is, even though they were the ones who opened the floodgate, and there's no denying that, at least they opened the floodgate while being prepared wearing a scuba diver suit. Scuba diver equipment. Because, yeah, they still opened the floodgate and basically caused chaos, but at least they were prepared. I mean, say what you will about the Switch, but the Switch 2 is the cheapest console on the block right now, except for that weird play thing, cube thing, whatever. I forgot its fucking name. Who gives a fuck? It's for children. But still, and I literally mean that, but still, is the cheapest one. And unlike most of these other companies, apparently, even though they are too, a little bit greedy, and there's no lie about that, they are literally dragging their feet as bad as they can because, well, yes, they also have raised their prices. Compare that to what Microsoft and Valve did, and you can see a 9-day difference. Still doesn't mean they're not guilty, far from it, because trust me, they had a balance with it, and let's be real here, there's other reasons why people think they're guilty for good reasons. Again, they're the ones who opened the floodgates. But still, this is really nutty to say the least. And the worst part about it is there seems to be no end to this at all. Granted, when it does end, I am curious to see how bad it does. But yeah, there's a lot of lot of fear right now because basically they're outpricing everyone, to say the least. Like, say you will, like I always say, your money, your choice. I'm not here to say do what many people have been saying. I even seen this one YouTuber saying, "Hey, buy a PC" and stuff, and I'm like, dude, they can buy whatever they want. Like, I do understand why you say that, but they can buy whatever they want. Again, it's your money, your choice. But the best advice I can give you is at least quickly try to get it as fast as you can or wait for a deal. But even then, we're gonna have to like buckle down on this. This is why I'm actually very thankful that I got my Switch year one. Granted, not day one, but year one at least. Kind of around October apparently. But anyway, still, I am very thankful for that because holy crap, to say the least. And there's nothing else I can say other than this is a very serious situation. Like, and I also want to clarify, this is not just, of course, a video game consoles. This is other stuff as well as other prices is blowing up. Again, it gets into very obvious reasons why other prices going down. Like, we're literally in a situation where there's going to be another Great Depression. We're close to Great Depression number 3. Like, we already got 2 of them, and yes, I do count the housing crisis as one of them. I think that was a Great Depression, honestly. Not as bad as the first one, but still, it was a Great Depression. We're almost there with this scenario, and it is again, it is very dark and it's very crazy. And honestly, the only advice I can say is, number one, you can vote whatever you want with your money. Like, again, it's your money, your choice. Although I do agree a little bit about buying the cheaper console. But hey, if you want to go for that stuff, go ahead. You're just going to have to, unfortunately, suck it up. Or wait until a deal, which hopefully there is. But even then, those things come in very rare capacity, only like in December. So, oh boy. But real talk, I honestly don't know. Other than at least try not to panic too much. I mean, as many people say, this situation is a bubble. The problem is, of course, this bubble seems to be now protected by literal titanium shields due to the government, if you know why all this is truly happening. And trust me, they are doing titanium thing. Hell, they're probably trying to make the freaking Marvel Universe element to try to definitely protect this bubble because they don't want this bubble to burst for unfortunate reasons. But it is a pretty tight situation. I don't think this will doom gaming in any way, but you know, it is a 50-50. Like, and I know people are going to shoot me, so let me make this crystal clear. I'm trying to be at least more optimistic, to say the least, because even I can't deny this is completely bullshit. But you know, I mean, you gotta take the good what you can, good with the bad, I guess. But I don't know. I may not be making sense, but all we can do is just hope. And again, you know, try to focus on the positive things. But even then, oh boy, there's not a lot positive. But still, just try to hope. I know people are going to shoot my ass for that because that sounds paradoxical, but that's the only advice I can give. It's literally the only advice I can give because we can't really live our lives all the way to negativity. Like, yes, I do agree this sucks as balls. We can't let this thing get, like, we got more better things to do in life, so that's all I can say. But anyways, this has been Floxcat, and snapping out of here. Bye-bye.